Greetings, folks. Hello, I'm Tim Mendees. Thank you for joining me tonight. Tonight is a very special broadcast. It is it's a kind of half book launch party and half not. Basically, the paperback is live. The ebook goes live on the 15th, which is Saturday. Now, this works out quite well in a weird kind of way. Because what I've got planned is tonight there will be a prize draw, and on Saturday I'm doing a live reading. So after the live reading, what I'll do is I will do the draw, like all the names in the octopus pot, and draw them live. By then I will have paperback copies. They're due tomorrow. So yeah, but anyway, thank you. This is one of the weirdest things I think I've had published. It's definitely up there with things like Tasty Treats in terms of weirdness. I'm really quite proud of it. There's a little bit of a story attached to how it got written. I'll tell you that later. What I'll do first is because I've figured something out here. Obviously, I don't have the paperback yet, but what I do have is thank you to David Green for this, telling me how to do this. I figured out a way to show you it. And here we go. Here is the cover, ladies and gentlemen. Peekaboo. Yeah, it's quite sexy, isn't it? Now, I think it sums it up really nicely. It does. When you read it, I think you'll agree that cover sums it up perfectly. Right, so I'm going to give you a bit of a reading. I'm going to read you the first chapter. It's only short. I'm going to read you the first chapter, and then afterwards I'll tell you how I went to the prize draw, tell you a little bit about the story, and if any of you fancy it, fire some questions at me. Cool. Right, so this is chapter 1 of Carpe Detritus. Oh, sweet putrescence, the purity of filth. How have I lived without you for so long? Rubbing the decaying cabbage leaves against his thighs and trembling at the sickly sweet aroma mingled with the rank scent of his unwashed form, Matthew felt strangely complete, as though a yawning void within him had finally been filled. The thrill transcended simple desire or pleasure and was more akin to spirituality. This was a revelation. As he wallowed in refuse, he felt somehow divine. He felt closer to God. The itching sensation returned to his left forearm with the intensity of hot knives and barbed wire. Despite that sensation, Matthew resisted the urge to scratch the sensitive area. It wouldn't help. The last time he dug his fingers into his skin, a pain like none he had ever felt before scythed its way through his frontal lobe. All he had to do was focus on the sweet decay that littered the floor of his dank basement bedsit. Then it would soon pass. His friend was just getting comfortable. He didn't mean any harm. It was just getting harder and harder for him to stretch out after a meal. He was getting bigger. A ponderous tapping at the tiny street-level window announced that he had company for the first time since his girlfriend had run off with a man from the chip shop over the way. A sudden, inexplicable panic washed over him. Since that fateful day, he had been shadowed. His life hadn't been his own. It was only the rapturous moments he stole, along with the growing pile of refuse, that helped him forget that he was a hunted man. But hunted by what, or who, was a burning question that he couldn't answer. Matthew stood up sharply. Empty cans and rancid newspapers slipped off the bed in an alarming clatter. The summons was more insistent than it had ever been before. It was getting worse by the day. On the final beat, his arm flared once again with sharp needle-like pain. His friend was agitated again. There was something about the perfectly spaced beats that drove him into a manic frenzy. The snap of jaws against the tissue of Matthew's muscles made him wince and twitch. The pain in his nerves raced up and down his left-hand side, making his eyelids flutter and his jaws grind. He didn't know what his friend was trying to say, though he was sure that it was communication of a sort. The dreams had been clearer and more efficient way of letting him know his wishes, but even those had been pretty abstract. Each knock made spasms rack his body. His fingers twitched and danced as the neurons in his brain fired at random. "Leave us alone!" he hissed through gritted teeth and hurried into the small bathroom and shut the door. The stench from the toilet made his eyes water, twin waterfalls of salty joy. He hadn't flushed it in days, and the effluence had swamped and festered. Matthew wafted the swarm of black flies away with his right hand. They buzzed indignantly, then clung to the ceiling, eyeing him suspiciously with their greedy, multifaceted eyes. Matthew sat on the filthy wooden seat and buried his head in his hands. The pain was making his vision blur and twist. He wouldn't remain awake for much longer. It was time for another dream. Before he slipped away, a brief moment of clarity flashed across his vision. The insanity of his situation became clear. "This is all you're doing," he said to the livid red wound in his arm. "What do you want from me?" Another sharp pain, and his mind focused once more on the ammonia stink from the bowl under his backside. Matthew smiled as sleep came over him. "Not long now. My body throbs with disease, pulses with decay, aches with destiny. I am nearly complete." Okay, that was chapter 1 of Carpe Detritus. And I think that gives you a pretty good feel overall of what it's all about. Now, that story was originally written for, I don't know if many people have heard of it, but Vasterian magazine. It's a literary journal that is based on Ligotti-esque fiction, where Thomas Ligotti. It's named after one of his stories, and basically Thomas Ligotti is even more nihilistic version of Lovecraft. Now, they opened the window for like a week, and I thought, right, I'm gonna have a pop at that. And I wrote I wrote Carpe Detritus in 2 days, and I went to submit it, and they'd shut it early. Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten it anyway. It's one of those things. It's like Weird Tales. I mean, I've seen the issue that came out. It's all people like Laird Barron and John Langham and Caitlin Kinn, and it's all names. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't have gotten it anyway. But it kind of cheesed me off. But at the time, but for about 2 days, and then I subbed it again, and I subbed it for Blackhair's Weird Tales anthology. But it was kind of surprise, surprise. It was over the word count. So he said, "Well, put it out as a short read," and I said, "Well, in that case, can we put the 2K that I cut out of it to try and get it under the word count back in?" So, yeah, and lo and behold, here we go. And like I said, it's going to be released. The ebook comes out on the 15th. It's actually already live. It's not supposed to be yet, but but the paperback is already live on Amazon. If you want to get it, that's how you get it below. That's getbook.at/Carpe_Detritus. That's getbook.at/Carpe_Detritus. Now, people who've heard me talking about these short reads and mini books in general will have heard me say the thing sporran sized. And this is why. You see, here is yonder sporran, right? Now, like I said, I haven't got the paperback of this yet because it's turning up tomorrow. But I do have 3 of the others in this short read series. So yeah, and as you can see, they fit very comfortably in yonder sporran. Yeah, lovely little books. Perfect for those long distance train rides and all the rest of it. Stick it in your sporran, go out in the Highlands, sit out in some heather, read a book, rock and roll. So when they turn up tomorrow, I will have 3 that I'm going to give away tonight as signed copies as a prize. So there will probably be a small amount of other ones that you can buy through me, but for now, if you want to get hold of a signed copy of Carpe Detritus for free, wherever you are, I'll send it wherever. I don't mind. All you've got to do, it's the same phrase that I did with the Burning Reflection launch, because I'm just stealing it and having it. If you want it, all you got to do is comment on this very video before midday on Saturday. That's British time, before 12 p.m. British summertime. All you've got to do is comment that. Give me a Vertagen book. That's all you got to do. Just say, give me a Vertagen book, and I will enter you into the prize draw. The winners will be drawn when I do my live reading of Voices on the Wind on Saturday. Okay. Yep. So we'll just have a look if there's any questions, and I'll start wrapping up. Don't you want to wait a second? What for what? I'm confused. I don't understand. Oh, if you're talking about the picture, it's because the only way to do it is to do it as a video, and it's on a 3-second timer, so you have to keep spamming it. So yeah, I assume that's what she means. And for those who missed it, there we go. And there we go. And there we go. I'm assuming that's what you mean. I'm confused again now. Where have I gone? Oh, thanks, Patrick. Yeah, I'm glad. But yeah, I thought some of the people who are more into the weirdness would appreciate that. Now, David Green. Now, here's a question. Now, there's a question. Who'd win in a fight in their heyday, Frankie Howard or Kenneth Williams? I'm betting on Kenny. He was wiry, and I bet he was vicious, man. Seriously. Oh, I bet he dropped a mean leg drop and all. Hey. Idiot. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I tend to do that. It's because I get really nervous when I start. Like I do every time. I get really, really nervous. I'm just like, and I stop. It's what I do when I get nervous. Is gabble at 100 miles an hour. Yeah. How many short reads fit in a sporran? Well, 3 fit comfortably. I reckon 4, without any of the corners getting crumpled. I reckon 4. 3 fit without any crumpling, any misshaping of the book. So I'm thinking 4. I'll give it a whirl. I tell you, I'll give it a whirl tomorrow when my copies of this turn up. Right home. Ah, yes. Bring forth the octopus pot. Yep, Saturday. So yes, I'll probably put up the event for this in a bit. I didn't want to put it up until I'd done this one, because last time I had 2 events up at the same time in the same week, Facebook got incredibly confused and deleted them both. So go figure. I have no idea. Yeah, so on Saturday, I will be at 9 p.m. British Summer Time. I will be doing a live reading. I know some people have been missing them, and I haven't done one in a while. I've been very, very busy, like writing and just various other bits and bobs. But I've got one, on Saturday. I'll be reading my story, Voices on the Wind, from the anthology Forbidden Dreams. And look at that octopus. That's a cool cover. That's a cool cover right there. Yeah, so I'll be reading my story on that on the Saturday. And then afterwards, I will crack the old octopus pot out and do the prize draw. Yes, so like I said, if you want to if you want to buy or pre-order, if you want to pre-order the ebook, you could go on to getbook.at/Carpe_Detritus. The paperbacks are already live on Amazon, so go for it. Like I said, I will be putting up a thing about my thing on Saturday and the prize draw. If you want to be entered, all you've got to do is comment on this very video before midday Saturday British time. Give me a Vertagen book. That's all you got to do. I will accept all of the different spelling cock-ups and all the rest of it. Because I've seen some corkers already. I will accept them. That's groovy. Or that's all you got to do. That phrase or a sort of rough approximation of that phrase before midday Saturday, and that'll be dandy. Okay. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Tim Mendees. If you want to check out my website, it is timmendeswriter.wordpress.com. That's timmendeswriter.wordpress.com. I also have a newsletter, which I haven't actually used yet, but I am going to be using in the next couple of days, and there will be another freebie. You do get a freebie if you sign up to it now. You get a free cosmic horror novelette called Put On Your Happy Face. Just for signing up. This, doesn't cost you anything, nothing. 100% free. That is tinyurl.com/Tim Mendees newsletter. Now, yeah, Put On Your Happy Face, which you get free from that. It's also randomly available on Barnes and Noble. It's also it's available on Smashwords as a free ebook, the same as through the newsletter. Well, I didn't realize when you upload it free through Smashwords, it also becomes available on things like Barnes and Noble. Proves how much I know about publishing, you know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, so go and get hold of it. All I'm saying about that novelette, well, I'm not saying it, is that. And for those of you who don't understand, you understand. Those of you who don't, you'll have to get it to find out. Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining me tonight. Again, Carpe Detritus is out sort of now. Getbook.at/Carpe_Detritus. I will see you on Saturday, folks. Take it easy.